Anjelica Huston. Sit down. How elegant and summery you look. That's a fabulous
kind of you.
Well, thank you for joining us. You know, that Witches clip, as you wonder, you're doing a big Witches-themed thing over here in the UK, aren't you?
I am. I'm doing a charity thing. The NSPCC has had what do you call it? An auction. And I was voted to do a tea party for the children of Peckham. 26 school children from Peckham.
And that's going to be at the... Is it the Roald Dahl Museum?
It will be at the Roald Dahl Museum.
Have you ever been there?
I haven't.
I've been there. It's a wonderful place.
Really?
It's mainly about Roald Dahl, obviously, but it's a wonderful place. I went there on a school trip. It's fantastic.
Well, he's an amazing, amazing writer, and it was a joy to be in The Witches.
Well, it's a great film. We'll talk about that in a minute, maybe. You've just come over from Ireland? You've just joined us over from
I have. I've been in Galway at the Film Fleadh.
Okay, and that's the big festival they have.
It is.
And you were you given an award there this year? Is that right?
Yes, I got the Hooker.
The Hooker Award.
The Hooker Award.
I didn't know they gave an award for that.
I know. I was very proud.
It's an area of your career we know nothing about.
I know. I was talking to Dame Edna a little bit about gynecology, and actually this...
Please do tell us more. I love nothing more on a Friday night than a long conversation about women's undercarriages.
Indeed. And the screen back here was very sort of conducive to the conversation.
It's kind of like fallopian tubes moving
Indeed,
around.
Yeah. It was interesting to think of Dame Edna's interior as we watch these bubbles kind of rise and fall.
I'm going to try and get that out of my head before I go home.
I've been trying all the way through everyone else's segment.
We looked at a clip of The Witches at the beginning there. When you look back on your movies, I don't know whether you seek them out or whether, you know, you'd be watching it accidentally, it comes on TV. Are you critical of your work, or do you find it difficult to watch ever?
It's all about how I look, and strangely, The Witches is one of the movies that I think I look rather well in. Isn't that weird?
It is weird, but I mean, I suppose, well, you look great as yourself in it, and you look great as the witch. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I really like being that witch. It was an uncomfortable makeup. I was in that particular mask for about 3 weeks, and I had extensions on my hands, so I couldn't go to the bathroom, I couldn't do anything without aid.
That's a long time not to go to the bathroom, 3 weeks.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, presumably if any kids saw you at that time, they would have been terrified. That must have...
Yeah, I had my nephews and nieces came, and we had our pictures taken, and I bought them nice presents, you know, to sort of endear them to me, because I hadn't seen them in a while. They're kind of cowering and cringing from me in every photograph.
Do you have a favourite... Oh, hold on.
There she is, thank God.
You're doing so well. Beautiful. I just had forgotten something.
Yeah.
I had an interview earlier. I have just remembered I have had cosmetic surgery.
Yes, you have.
I had a breast reduction, as a matter of fact.
We were talking about that.
I used to be very buxom.
You still are rather buxom.
Well, it's
but
kind
maybe
of...
in slightly different places. In fact...
Now, I'm loving you and leaving you because you have so much to talk about, and
we hate to bore you.
I'm sure that you will put Bono and Edge to shame with the length of your interview.
Yeah, Dame Edna, well, give me some advice here. Did you think, did I let the fella stay out here too long? Do you think we outstayed our welcome chatting here?
No, I think that we don't know much about little Bono, really, do we?
Why is the Edge called... What is the Edge's real name?
It's a funny name for a person, isn't it? Ed, do you think his wife, in moments of passion...
Says the Edge.
Or harder, Edge, harder. They are so lovely, and
they're
you
nice
brought
men.
out the humanity of them. I knew nothing about them, and now I know too much.
Dame Edna, how lovely to see you again.
It's lovely to be back on the show. I said I'd come back on your show, and I...
We didn't put it in so soon. Thank
you.
Darling.
You are welcome back anytime. Anytime.
I might come back again.
Come back out.
Wow. Well, okay. Let me ask you then about, we're talking about your movies there. Let's go back to your childhood. Let's talk about growing up because, you met some of the most famous people of that period. And I'm amazed that I'm like Marlon Brando, for example. People like that were regular visitors to your house, weren't they?
Yeah, Marlon Brando came. My father was directing a film in which he wanted Marlon to star, and he came. I was about 7 years old. I think they had a horrible fight.
And so what was he like? Was he a nice guy?
He was
friendly
a
guy?
little bit surly, as I recall, and he was quite large, and he was in a red velour T-shirt, and I remember thinking, are you the most important man in film? But he was nice to me. He gave me a tortoiseshell ring. I like presents. I still do.
Everyone loves a gift. Well, did it seem strange to you at all, your childhood? Did it seem... I mean, obviously it was the only one you had, but did it seem strange meeting these people?
No. I mean, Marlon Brando didn't mean very much to me. I was 6 and living in Ireland. So what was exciting was the sort of build-up to these people. But they, once you met them, it wasn't all that riveting, other than, if they did something unusual, like attack a Limerick ham.
I was looking back at some of your movies, and there's a period in American movies in the 70s. I love those films, that period. I mean, I like modern films, blockbusters, but they don't make those kind of movies much anymore, apart from there's a handful of directors, Wes Anderson being one of them, who you've worked with a number of times, with some great people as well, with Gene Hackman and these terrific actors he draws on. And he seems to make that kind of movies. Are they the kind of films that you're attracted to more, or are they just, these are the people who come knocking?
I like authors. I like film directors who write and conceive their own movies, and Wes is a particular favorite of mine. He's very precise. He creates a whole sort of world unto himself. He chooses great locations. I just did about a couple of years ago, I did Darjeeling Limited with him, which was the first time I've ever been to India, and I think it really took Wes Anderson to get me to India. He's fantastic. He's very precise, though. You have to really know your stuff with Wes. And I remember one of those scenes in Darjeeling. I come out of this temple, and he kept retaking the scene, and I was wondering what was going on. And finally, I said, "What's wrong, Wes?" And he said, "There's a comma there. You're missing the comma." So it's always sort of interesting and a little bit experimental to work with him.
But you're not at all how one would expect you to be, I think. I thought you'd be quite a scary person before I met you the first time. Because you often seem to be foreboding on screen.
I like foreboding parts, but it's because I'm such a coward.
So in real life, you're a pushover.
Pathetic.
There's a great... I'm going to show you a clip now. It's one of my favourite Wes Anderson movies, in The Royal Tenenbaums.
Oh.
And here's a scene of Anjelica with the brilliant Gene Hackman, and it must be a joy to work with, because I love seeing him on screen. No, he's not.
Gene is scary.
He's obviously a complete arsehole to work with.
No, he's not a complete asshole. He's an amazing actor. He's unbelievably good. But if this is the scene that maybe I think it is, it was the first scene I ever did with him in the movie, and we'd been in rehearsal, and I had to slap him in the face, and in rehearsal I slapped him on the lapel a number of times, and it was all good. And then when it came to the scene on a cold January morning, I had kid gloves on, and I gave him a good whap, and I saw the blood rising up, in glove shape on his cheek, and he went, "Damn," like this. And Wes used it, so...
That's not the scene we're going to show, but I wish we did now have that. This is the scene.
Reason to see
this
the
is the scene when you're not punching him in the face. This is the scene. But this is a great scene. Look at this. This is Anjelica Huston in The Royal Tenenbaums. Tremendous movie. It's such a charming film. I love that film. We were talking to Dame Edna about her personal life, and last year as well. You got married fairly late in life, didn't you?
I did, yes.
Why was that? Why did you wait so long, or?
Because I never felt it was right, and I have a sort of preference for rather, what can I say, jumpy men.
Jumpy men.
Well, men who jump.
When you say jumpy, you mean kind of what? Lively men? You mean?
Yeah, lively. rapacious, naughty.
So, I see. So naughty men who don't necessarily want to settle down.
You don't want to marry a rapacious man.
You just want to
It's
have
not
an
a good
affair,
idea.
a long relationship
You want to
with them.
have them as a, yes.
Well, they've put a picture of Jack Nicholson up there. I guess he's the ultimate jumpy man, I guess, is he?
I'd say, yes.
You
Nice
in-
picture, actually. Look how young we are.
Wow, look at the two of you there. Are you in touch with Jack still? Do you keep in touch?
Yeah, he's very sweet.
So you'd number him still as a close friend?
A close friend, no. An ex-lover, yes.
That's fairly precise.
Well, yes.
What kind of life do you live away from the movies? What do you like doing when you're just kicking back and being yourself?
I have a farm I like to go to. I have animals I like to play with. I like to garden. Gardening has sort of taken over my life recently.
And what do you do with the stuff that you make? Do you give it to friends or you sell it?
Yeah, I make jams and jellies, and I present people with Christmas baskets and that kind of thing. It's good.
And do people like your jams, or do you think that the minute you've gone, they've got not some more bloody jam from Anjelica Huston?
No, they passionately love my
You think
jams.
your jams are popular?
Love them.
It's great to have you. I am so in love with your work, but I so love having you on the show. You're such a joy to spend some time
Thank
with.
you
Ladies and
so
gentlemen,
much.
Anjelica Huston. Thank you so much. Anjelica Huston, ladies and gentlemen.